Let me show you how to get this door card reinstalled. In this episode of Aston1936.com, I'm going to show you how to properly reinstall a door panel. Now, if you've been watching the series, you've seen that I've had my door cap refinished, and that's why I've had mine off. It looks beautiful now with a whole new veneer of mahogany on it. I've also taken the time and I've deep cleaned the leather, which will be another video that I'll have linked up. So the leather's clean, the mahogany's all set and ready to go. So it's time to get this panel back on the door. So I need a few things to get it done right. We're going to have to torque up the bolts that hold the door handle on, and those. So I've got a torque wrench along with a 5mm hex adapter on an extension. I have a T20 wrench that's going to put in some of the smaller bolts, and I have the little leather pieces that are going to go into the handles and on the end, so these have also been cleaned and set up. I've actually referred to the official Aston Martin workshop manual on how to do this. The only thing in here that's really interesting is just basically gives you the torque settings for these bolts, which by the way are 9 Newton meters. One of the things you have to do for this little leather piece that fits on the end of the door cap down here is it mounts to this bracket, so you have to, but it's just put on here with double-sided tape. So I've just got some Scotch outdoor grade tape, and I've trimmed a new piece to fit on here, and I peeled the old skanky stuff off. So anyways, I've got a new piece on there that'll just peel when it's time to put this on. So I like to get the bolts ready to go back in, but I always like to put a little bit of lubricant on the bolt threads. So I'm just going to do that real quick here. Just a drop on the ends. And this just helps, prevent future corrosion. It makes everything go in kind of nice. Sometimes I swirl that around just to get it worked in. So those are ready to go in now. So let's go over to the door and actually offer this up and start getting the electrical connection and things hooked up to it. So over here at the door, there's a few things just to point out. You've got your door handle control cable. That's going to go back through this hole. We have the puddle light connector, which we'll do up first. And then we have the multi-plug that's going to go for the power window switches. And we have the driver's door mirror electrical outlet in here that we just have to make sure it gets routed properly in this little cavity of space. And then the whole system basically sits down on top of these 3 mounting points when we're ready to hang it. So the first step is we're going to hook up the puddle light. And that just pushes in until you hear it click. There we go. I'll put that through its hole. And then we're going to offer up the multi-plug for the power windows. We're going to make sure that clicks in. And now we're pretty much ready to hang the door. So I'm bringing it up over these tabs, and I'm also watching my electrical connection up here. Has to fit through that little space. There we go. So just go slow, line up over top your bits here, make sure you've got your wiring harness tucked in where it needs to be. And then just give it a gentle push down to seat it home. We've got that here. And then it should feel like it's... Now, unlike most cars, there isn't a bunch of clips, which is kind of awesome in a way. And now we're going to start using screws along the bottom and through the speaker holes. and through the arm here to get everything in place. So as always, I just want to get them all started loose to begin with. Pardon my head here, but I can't do both things at the same time. The next one is in the air vent hole here. All right, so we got our 4 down along the bottom done. The next one is going to be this tricky one at the end. And we can see the hole for it there. But this is also the one that holds the bracket for the trim piece. So we'll get the screw started. And the bracket has a little all right, and then we can peel the sticky off. And then our leather piece will just fit nicely into place. And make sure it gets stuck onto the bracket nicely. All right, so that's trimmed up. So now the last part we have to deal with is the armrest system. So the first part of fitting the armrest is re-engaging the latch. So you can see that this is sort of a T-shaped head on the end of the cable. And that's designed to fit into this slot. And then the cable itself here. So basically this clips down onto there. So I've got that engaged properly there. I've got this pushed in solidly there. So now I just have to offer this up, make sure the cable doesn't get bound up. And before I put that in, I have to remember that this leather piece fits in here. Now this doesn't have any screws that mount it. There's a mounting point, a hole right there, and there's a mounting point hole right there. So it just basically, once it goes into place, you feel it sort of feel right, and then it gets trapped. So now we need to get our front screw in with the 5mm. Now this is a painted finish, so you want to be careful while you're doing all that. And now it's time to torque these to 9 Newton meters. It's a fairly important part on the car since it has the door handle. And just check that that feels like it working right. And so now I'm going to hop in. Yeah, it works the door. And let's try the mirrors. And we're going to try the door mirror adjustment as well. So that's all it takes. A couple of minutes, some careful work just getting aligned. Now I've got my beautiful wood cap on here. Everything's bolted up solid and it works great. So down here you're going to find a link to my companion blog article where I'll have a link maybe to the official Aston Martin workshop manual with the torque spec and anything else that was interesting relating to the project. Up here, you're certainly going to find a related video to it, probably something to do with the cap refinishing or just the door removal. If you like to get videos like this, please go ahead and subscribe and you'll get automatically notified when the next ones come out. And as always, I love to hear your comments. Please leave those down below. Thanks for watching.